Okay, so a couple different ways to use Google Calendar, and I'll show you a screenshot of it in a minute. Setting up team meetings. With Google Calendar, you can see when everyone that works with you is available. And instead of having to ask them, hey, you're free on Tuesday at 2, you can see, oh, it looks like everyone has an opening at that time because I'm looking at their real-life calendars and just plug something in. You can also use multiple calendars. One of my clients, we use this to make a planning calendar. So she has an ideal structure for how she'd like her time to be set. And we put her 2 calendars on top of each other so we can look at, ideally, here's how things should go. Let's try to put our real-life appointments in during those projected times. So it's a nice way to kind of overlay different things that you might want to do. If you're working with clients and you want them to be able to see when you're available, you can create a public calendar of your time so that you can let them know, I meet with clients on Tuesdays and Thursdays, here's my current openings, without you having to call them or tell them. So there's multiple really cool ways to use this. This is another blurred out version of my calendar because I didn't want you to see my clients. So this is something that I do with my VA. These are shared appointments where we're having meetings. The green is something that they're working on. This is something that we're working on together. So I can see multiple people's schedules on my own. Yes?
Is there a way that a client could schedule something themselves on that calendar, but they wouldn't have access to your other?
You would have to create a separate calendar that's like my public appointments. Otherwise, they'll see everything that's on your own real calendar.
Public appointments, would there be a way to, so that people would only be able to see their own?
I don't believe there's a way to do that.
What about Time Driver? Are you familiar with Time Driver? So Time Driver is an application that you can set up if you want to let your clients know when you're available, and it syncs with the Google Calendar.
So that's, as I mentioned,
totally awesome.
That's one of the nice things about the Google platform is that there's lots of things that hook into it.
Is that a free thing?
It's free.
Free is good.
Free.
Yes.
I found under when you share your calendar, you can designate that people can see what it is you're doing, or they can just see if you're busy or not busy.
Yes, they can see busy or not busy, but sometimes they're not able to add appointments.
Okay.
If it's a public calendar.
Okay.
But they change these things. So
does it sync up with Outlook?
If you use the Google connector, there are ways around it with the free version, but they're kind of hodgepodge. Like there's little tools like Google Sync, which work okay most of the time, but it's not really designed for like full-featured Outlook integration. For that, you need to really upgrade to the paid edition. Yes.
So what if you wanted to look at your life, and you have a personal life and a business life, but sometimes they do cross. Can you manage a calendar where you can see both views? You talked about laying it over.
You could make a personal calendar and a business calendar.
Can you have them where you can see everything in one shot, or do you have to go?
Well, they would be overlaid.
So the overlay function will allow you to view everything. If you were booked from 8 till midnight with a combination, you can
see everything. They'd be in different colors.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you lock people out like your husband?
You would just not give them access to your calendar. You wouldn't share it with them. Okay, that's another issue. Yes. Okay, Google Docs for your domain. This is a nice collaboration tool. It's kind of, think of it as Office Junior on the web. Basically, Google Docs tries to replicate some of the more rudimentary functions of an Office-type suite, like a word processor, spreadsheet, and presentation program. I say rudimentary because, as I mentioned previously when I talked about user interface differences, this is one of the glaring examples of this. Google Docs lets you create, edit, manage, and share documents, but the actual editing of them is kind of clunky. It's not as slick or as smooth as with a desktop program. However, there are multiple added benefits to doing it this way. Let's say there's a document that you're sharing with your team. Maybe you, a VA, and a consultant are working on a client proposal together. All of you can be working on the same document at the same time and see each other's changes in real time. Instead of having to send the document back and forth, oh, did you make a change over there? I made a change over here. Did you see my change over here? It's all actually one document. It's a living document that you all can share and work on. So there's no more of the emailing back and forth. In fact, you all could actually open up a Google Talk chat window, chat about the document as the three of you are editing it, so that all of that collaboration happens inside of your browser without ever opening a desktop application or sending an email. So this cuts down a lot on the which version do I have? Do you have the most recent version? Can you send that to me? None of that needs to happen when you collaborate on a document this way. Yes?
Two things. One, I do exactly that for school projects, group projects all the time. It's huge. And I love that you never have to worry about backing it up or end up somewhere else. You can just log in and work on it. And my other question is, have you played with Google Wave yet?
I have played with Google Wave. Google Wave is a new service from Google. I'm not sure they even know how to define it. Because I really can't. It's a communication and collaboration tool, which is bizarre to me. I don't quite understand what it is or how to use it. But it's kind of like...
yeah, I was hoping you could shed some light. It's like a
basically, it's a combination like email inbox, chat window, voice chat with video. It's kind of like, here's what we got. It's all in one bowl. Go for it and figure out what to do with it. I don't have the time to figure that out. So once they figure it out and let me know what I'm supposed to use it for, I'll then figure out how to break it. Okay, so this is Google Docs. You can, as I said, have all sorts of different types of documents, the most common office types, spreadsheets, Word documents, presentations. You can import and export to and from formats like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. They lose some of their formatting going in both directions. Important to note. And the documents inside of Google Docs will look different than what you're used to seeing inside of Microsoft Word, let's say. But basically, there's a repository of all your files, different folders that I have for my team. Some of the different documents, it shows them, when they were recently worked on and who they're being shared with, because not everyone gets to see everything. And this is a sample of what a Google Doc might look like. It looks similar to Word, maybe a few versions ago. It has the basic editing and formatting tools, but you don't get fancy things like tables of contents or really advanced imaging functions. So you do give up some of the creative options, but you get more collaborative options. So it's a trade-off. Sometimes the way to use this is create a fancy-looking document in a different format, then upload it here so people can comment on it and share it. Ways to integrate Google Apps together, because they're designed from the ground up to work together. So it makes sense to use them that way. If you use iGoogle, which is kind of like a home page that you can add different widgets to, you can put your Google Docs, your Google email, your Google Apps, anything on your iGoogle page as a widget. So you can see when new documents have been updated or when you get new Gmail in your business inbox. You can also add your Google Calendar if you use the Labs feature, which is in Settings. You can add a little widget that has your Google Calendar to your Gmail page so that without opening a new window, you can see what's coming up over the next few days, which is a really nice thing. You can add a deadline-oriented Google Doc to your calendar. You can actually attach a specific date to a document, which is great if you and your team have something that's coming up that's going to be due sometime soon. Oh, and this is really nice. Inside of Gmail, if someone sends you an invitation or a meeting request, and it has a specific date and time on it, if you're using Google Calendar, you can just click once and it automatically puts the appointment on your calendar. So there's lots of ways to use these tools together. There's many, many more than are here. But the point is that if you use one, try the others and see how you like it, because you might find that they're more efficient together than using separate different types of tools. Yes?
Is this all from the professional Google only, or is this all available for private Gmail as well?
Some of this is available for private Gmail. I think now that they have a paid edition for the Google Docs and Google Apps for your domain, they spend a bit more resources in that direction. But a lot of this, as I said, is available in the free edition. The people that are paying for it are helping the rest of us reap the benefits.